Hello, America. Welcome to America's Healthcare Advocate Show, broadcasting coast to coast across the USA. I'm your host, Cary Hall. My producer, Mr. Steve Largent. My special guest today, Dr. Dawnavan Davis, Director of Health Promotions, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City, and Mark Dawnavan, President of the Kansas City Chiefs, who will be joining us a little later in the broadcast. Welcome, Dr. Davis.
Thank you.
Great to get you here to do this today.
Nice to be here.
Well, it took a little while to get this planned and get it done, but we finally have made it happen with the help of Sue Johnson and all the folks here at the Chiefs Sports Lab. So we're going to have a great broadcast today. We're going to talk today about children's health. We're going to talk about this very, very unique partnership between the Kansas City Chiefs and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City for the Chiefs Sports Lab powered by Blue KC. You know, there is a real problem in this country with children's health. We are seeing an epidemic of type 2 diabetes. We see one problem after another with children in this country today. This is the first generation of children that are not expected to have a life expectancy longer than their parents. That is why we are doing this broadcast today. So this is going to be a unique opportunity to listen and learn. This is a special broadcast for the Kansas City metro area, Sedalia, St. Joseph, Missouri, Trenton, Clinton, and Harrisonville. So stay tuned, listen and learn as we talk about the Chiefs Sports Lab powered by Blue KC. Thank you for making us one of the most listened to talk shows across the United States. I do appreciate all of your emails, feedback, and phone calls. Please tell your friends, neighbors, and coworkers about us and make an appointment to join us each and every week for America's Healthcare Advocate, broadcasting here on the HIA Radio Network, coast to coast across the USA. You can go to our website, americashealthcareadvocate.com, and click on the radio logo, listening on your computer if you choose, or obviously listen on your radio. But if you're out of the broadcast area, go to the website, americashealthcareadvocate.com, and click on the local radio logo. You can listen to the show on your computer. Now, if you have questions or you want to tell somebody about this opportunity, maybe you've got a school that would like to get involved or a club, whatever the case may be, rather than try to go through everything we're going to say here today, you can go back to the website Monday at 2:30. The show will be posted there, and you can actually listen to the show just like we did it live in studio on the web at americashealthcareadvocate.com. This show will also be posted on Blue Cross and Blue Shield's website, on their YouTube website, so you'll be able to view it up there after we complete the broadcast today. So, Dr. Davis, let's start with, this is a very unique partnership. When Mark Dawnavan comes in, we'll talk about how unique it is to the NFL. But what got the two of you together, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City and the Kansas City Chiefs? That's not exactly a combination you would typically think of in the health insurance world. So how did these two things come together, the elements to put this wonderful facility together here today?
Well, you know, I think that's an excellent question, and I think part of that really stems from many months of two organizations with a similar mission, and that mission really focusing on the betterment of the Kansas City community and to promote health and wellness among our community. So the mission really, I think, initially drove the partnership, and as we began to develop that partnership, we saw that there was a unique opportunity to impact the lives of many children and families here locally.
Well, you know, when we first came down here and went through the Chiefs Sports Lab powered by Blue KC, I was amazed. I really didn't know what to expect. I thought, well, okay, you know, what is this going to be like? This is a remarkable place.
Absolutely.
The interaction here with children and the opportunity for children to get involved, it's quite amazing how this all came together. Let's talk a little bit about that and how you engage children by getting them to get involved here and become part of this process.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting. I think it really does speak to the partnership. So the Kansas City Chiefs and Blue KC work tremendously collaboratively in getting kids here to the lab. We want to have as many touches and engage as many families and children and get them to the lab. And so we have built a partnership with school districts, area organizations to help at least provide one opportunity for kids to come into this amazing facility. So we're really excited about that.
You know, and I said in the opening monologue, and I know you're extremely aware of this because we've talked about it in the past, this epidemic of type 2 diabetes among children, this is the first generation of children that are not expected to live longer than their parents. You know, that is really scary.
It is.
When you look at where we are with technology and all the advances in medicine and everything that we have in this country, to say that this generation of children may not outlive their parents in terms of longevity, What does that speak to in this country?
Well, I think partly from a disease perspective, it really speaks to, one of the primary drivers is the epidemic of obesity, and so we know that 1 in 3 children in the United States is overweight or obese, and with that comes a host of health conditions. You've mentioned diabetes, heart disease, asthma, a host of conditions that really are a detriment to the health and wellness of our children, and so we think that providing opportunities for kids to engage in the sports lab, this interactive environment where they learn about nutrition, living well, exercising, physical activity, and general health education is imperative to trying to reverse this trend.
Okay, so they come to the Chief Sports Lab powered by Blue KC. There's a program here. Let's talk a little bit about how that works. They come in, it is interactive, but they're taking away from here what? Let's go through that, and then what do they take away when they leave here?
So what's really interesting, I think this is a comprehensive opportunity for kids. So they come in and they get an opportunity to explore the lab and to learn everything from issues around injury prevention to how to engage in healthy physical activity, and then also healthy eating and how to incorporate that into their lifestyle, not just as kids, but into their family. And so they tour and interact with many of the exhibits in the lab, and then there's a really nice opportunity after they've toured the facility to have an opportunity to basically to review what they've learned, and then we hope that they'll take those pieces, that opportunity, home to the family, but also to the schools. And so there's an opportunity for the children to take what they've learned and apply that in the school and home environment.
So the idea is then, the objective then is that they come here, they have an interactive experience, they take away from that interactive experience an opportunity to bring that back to the school, and also hopefully back to the home. Yes?
Absolutely.
So you're trying to change the mindset, you're trying to change the way they view health and nutrition by using something that's fun, entertaining, interesting. All of those elements went into this to put this program together. Yep,
absolutely. And what's interesting too is that what we hope is that, again, this is a catalyst for not just awareness and knowledge of healthy lifestyles through eating and physical activity, but this serves as the first starting point in getting them to change behaviors that ultimately we hope are going to address this issue of childhood obesity.
Because really, if the behaviors don't get changed, you can do everything you want to do with healthcare and all kinds of other issues, but if the behaviors don't change, you don't change the end result, do you?
Absolutely. It starts with knowledge, and then moves to behavior change, and that's where we're going to see the greatest impact.
And behavior change means taking responsibility and correcting the issues that need to be corrected.
Yes, and so we know it starts with healthy lifestyles, and that means, specifically related to obesity, that really does mean focusing on healthy decisions related to getting moving as a family, and also eating well as a family.
So it's not sitting in front of the television, it's not playing the Game Boy, it's not doing Madden 3 or whatever the latest video game is. It's getting out, being active, and then nutrition being another part of that.
Absolutely. And we can do those things. You can play with your Maddens and your and the video games. I'm kind of dating myself. I'm sure there's no video games any longer, but
I wouldn't know. I'm at a loss. But if you're dating yourself, you don't want to know where I am.
But I think it's everything in moderation, and that also is when we talk about food. It's also moderation. So you can do those things, but you also need to balance that with an active lifestyle.
We'll be back after the break with Dr. Davis. We'll talk some more about what they're doing in this very unique partnership here at the Chief Sports Lab powered by Blue KC. You're listening to America's Healthcare Advocate, broadcasting on the HIA Radio Network, coast to coast across the USA. I'll be right back after the break with more.